Hello, all you one-servable people of the interwebs. I'm the Zodiac Lord, and I'm back with more Lunaverse speed paints, finally. My god, I believe the last one I said that I would be back, I would get it done pretty fast because I didn't want these two to be too far apart. Guess that was a lie. But yeah, as always, please, if you are new to this series and this is your first time seeing this kind of video from me, or seeing this video, or if you haven't watched the other ones, please find the playlist and watch it from the very beginning, or at the very least watch Chrome's before this one. These are my own original characters, and this commentary paint serves as me talking about the story, and because I can't recap everything because it's a complicated story, you're going to get lost if you watch it from here and you don't know the stuff that happened before it. So, I would recommend going and back and watching them all if you haven't already, because it'll be important context and things like that, especially with this one because he's directly related to Chrome. And yeah, so done that? We're still here? Okay, let's go. Let's get into this. So, yeah, so this is Virus. He is the other android of the Lunaverse house. And to recap, Chrome and Virus are two characters who are androids from another dimension and possibly other planet. That's up for anyone to speculate, but there is no canonical decision on whether it is or is not a other planet as well as another dimension. But they're from a world called Teruvia, and which is a very science tech based kind of planet, or world, I guess. And Chrome and Virus are two androids from that world. I believe in Chrome's I talked more about some of the mythos and the canon stuff based on Teruvia, and I talked about that world a little bit more. So for this one, I'm going to be talking more on the actual story of Chrome and Virus and their personalities and how they contrast each other and all that other kind of stuff. But I do want to get some things out of the way because there are some other fun facts I want to drop about Teruvia. I swear, one day I'm going to have to make a video where I can just talk and ramble all about Teruvia, because the thing about Teruvia, which also, it is nicknamed the anime dimension because, in a way, the way Teruvia is set up, you could almost dictate it as a anime world. Facial hair isn't a thing in Teruvia. People's appearances, well, not just facial hair, but like body hair, only hair on your head is possible. You can have unnatural eye and hair colors. They have hair eye colors of any caliber. In fact, genetics there are more based on aesthetics than they are actual like logic, because I mean, I thought, well, if it's another dimension, why not, you know? This isn't a real world thing. Again, this is just a world for me to go crazy. So yeah, Teruvia is a very like quirky kind of world. I could talk because I've made it my little experiment, just my world where I have no limits, no laws to follow, and I can just do and I just went crazy with it. There's a lot of story and things that happen, and it's important stuff. It's not useless because in the canon story of Lunaverse, without spoiling too much, it is a world that some characters go to, and it is a relevant part of the story and things like that. But anyway, so to talk about the characters a little bit, Chrome and Virus, I think I've said for Chrome that Chrome was an adoptable, as with most characters in Lunaverse are. But Virus is a weird one. I count him as half an adoptable because I based him off of Chrome. He was meant to have the appearance of the anti-version of Chrome in a sense. So he's like half an adoptable. So if you ever hear me say, like, of the main 10 Lunaverse characters, 7.5 of them are adoptables, he's the half. But anyway, so, let's talk about some things. So, I believe I touched on this briefly in Chrome's thing, but we're going to kind of recite the whole thing here. So the story of Chrome and Virus was that they were two androids that were made for the Queen of Teruvia, who's literally just called the Queen, by the way, just to clear that up. But they were intended to be created for the Queen of Teruvia. And little fun side note, that'd be funny. If you would like to, if you go to my DeviantArt, there was like a little mini series I did for Lunaverse characters where I designed their parents. Some of them who were important, some of them who were relevant, but I thought it would just be fun because I love just designing characters, which is funny because sometimes I am very bad at redrawing characters a lot, but I love just designing them, which is why I have so many. So I also love genetics, so that was also a fun thing. But Chrome and Virus, I wasn't going to make any for them because they're androids, they don't have parents, but someone said, would their parents technically just, their parents, are you just going to draw the scientists who made them or something? And it made me laugh, so I decided, you know what, why not? They would be the most irrelevant characters, but I just thought it'd be fun, so I actually did that. If you want to go check those out, I just kind of made them for fun, and it's funny, I basically made a circle and a square and I rolled with it. But anyway, so yeah, they were created for the Queen, and they were created by Androids, which is a company that specializes, one of the many android making companies, this one that specializes in androids with animal-like qualities for people who want an android like that. And the Queen wanted some, and she thought like, hey, animal ears are cool. So she paid to have 2 similar looking androids made together, because it's like, well, if you're gonna have 2, why not have a theme to them? So she wanted 2 that looked pretty much about the same. However, during the creation process of them, because it has a lot to do with like building the code first and then the shell and all this other kind of stuff, a virus got into the system. And I mean, like with many viruses, someone had to put it in there, but viruses have a different effect on androids depending on the android, what's already there, the virus itself, who made the virus. So they were able to catch it before it completely infected the first one and actually got to the second one, because it was aimed at both of them because they were being made together. It got like 75 to 80% infecting one of them, and then the other one was okay because they stopped in time. However, whenever they were done making the androids, the android stepped out, and all of his colors, most of his colors, I mean, were inverted. So like instead of being blue and green, it was red and yellow. They looked a lot different. They had a lot of errors. Like they couldn't, like androids are meant to deal with tech related problems and things like that. This android could not do that. He was completely like lost when it came to tech things, completely, which is not something that happens to androids. Naturally, in a sense, because that's their calling, it's their instinct. He could also not create proper screens. Android vision, they kind of see their brain in a sense. They see their thought process in their vision. You know how like in movies where they have the images of robots and they'll show their vision, they have all the screens popping up and things. That's like an android vision. And not only that, but they can also project screens from their core, which is the little gem thingy mabobber on their chest, which shows stuff like the stuff that they're thinking, and it allows them to do more complicated things, it allows them to fix things tech-wise and all this other kind of stuff. So his didn't work. Like, they were hardly functioning at all. They could do very basic stuff, but that was the most of it, and he couldn't do it for very long. So they were going to scrap him at first, but they decided, well, she ordered these, so we're going to show it to her and say we're going to destroy it and we'll make you a new one. Well, the Queen saw it, but she said, okay, is he actually hurting anyone? Is he dangerous? And they're like, well, no. He's just glitchy and can't perform the right things. But she said, you know what? I can find a use for him. It'll be fine. And so they were like, are you sure about that? And she's like, yes, I am. So they ended up giving it to her, and she named it Virus for the obvious reasons. And basically she's like, well, you know, you can't do tech things, but we'll find something for you to do, or we'll teach it to you. We'll find a way, because androids can learn, you know? So Which actually leads to a lot that has to do with, like, Chrome and Virus's relationship. I think I said in Chrome's one that he hates Chrome with a passion, or no, Chrome hates Virus with a passion, but Virus does not feel the same way about Chrome. And that is because they have the sort of trope of, like, a favorite child kind of thing. The Queen, because Virus couldn't do much and she was trying to help him out, sort of had him, like, was more focused on him. She gave him more praise when he could do things right. With Chrome, like, he was just doing what he was programmed to do, so she's like, okay, that's cool, awesome job. But for him, it's like, yes, you did it, great job, I'm proud, you know, stuff like that. So Chrome has a lot of deep-seated jealousy with Virus. So that's where that comes from. And the story on how they get out of their dimension, to put it kind of briefly, because I don't want to go into, like, too much detail about it, it's basically Chrome blacks out, and when he reboots and he can see and comprehend things again, he finds out he has downloaded a file that he should not have. What file that is, I don't know. It's important, but he doesn't know what it is, and when he tries to project it so he can see what it is, his screen doesn't work, obviously, so he can't tell what it is. But he does know it's classified and that he should not have it. So in a panic, he doesn't want to tell anyone because he'll know he'll get in trouble. And he also finds out that in order to access it, you need a certain code to access files like that. But because he's defective and stuff like that, he doesn't have a code. Chrome does, however. And he finds out that somehow he found out what the code Chrome had, and he used it to get access to the file. And so that also puts some blame onto Chrome in a legal sense. And so he panics and he ends up telling Chrome about it because he wants to trust Chrome and things like that. And Chrome freaks out. And it's like, what are you, like, this is all your fault, you know, now you're gonna get me destroyed and both of us destroyed because you were an idiot. And he's like, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. And obviously Chrome's being a jerk because that's how Chrome rolls. However, while they're arguing, surveillance happens and they end up getting, like, chased down in a sense. So people are after them and there's a red alert and they stumble across something, a device, and they're like, well, there might not be a chance we could ever get back here for a while, but it's like, well, we gotta figure out what's going on. It's our only option or we get scrapped. Because that's a big no-no, you know? So they ended up using this device to go to another dimension, and that's how they ended up in Lunaverse, in conveniently the correct spot where they were in the forest where they meet the other people of the Lunaverse crew and that kind of stuff. So basically from there, it's kind of like, and in a sense, Virus is kind of okay with being there. Chrome is just pissed, like just flat out pissed. So in a sense, in the terms of Lunaverse, Virus is like, you know, he would rather stay there willingly, but if Chrome had the choice, he would leave. So it's not really Chrome's fault that he's there, in a sense. But anyway, so I do want to talk a little bit, this has already been going so long, but I want to talk a little bit about their personalities and their dynamics. The funny thing about me that you might notice is that I am a big fan of deceptive appearances. Just in writing. You can actually see it a lot with a lot of antagonists I have. I don't like my antagonist being too terribly obvious a lot of the time. I like having it be a little bit of, like, kind of a gray area or even being a plot twist of the main villain. I really enjoy that kind of thing. And Chrome and Virus are a very good showcase of my love for that kind of theme. If you look at them, Chrome his predominant color is white. He's blue, he's green, and he is edgy, grumpy, pessimistic, egotistical, narcissistic kind of guy. Virus, however, his two main colors are black and red. That's just straight up. And of course, black and red are colors that are very associated with, like, edgy characters. However, Virus is anything but an edgy character. He's nervous, he likes people, he wants to talk with people and, like, you know, be nice to people and that kind of thing, but he's very shy and very nervous and things like that. He's the kind of person that, like, he'll apologize for anything, and he apologizes too much. And he's very awkward and things like that. He's not tech savvy. He actually likes people. He's very humble and things like that. So there's a lot of deceptive appearances, and I even utilize the fact that Vanessa shows up first because Vanessa and Virus have very similar color schemes in the sense that it's like black, red, and yellow. And so you have Vanessa shows up and she's the queen of edge, and then Virus shows up and he's completely different. So it's something I kind of wanted to play around with their designs and things like that. So they're opposites of each other in a sense, and their appearances are very misleading. And also, like, Chrome and Virus are two characters that very much depend on each other. There's a reason why in almost every scenario you can't really deal with one unless you have the other somewhere nearby. That's because a lot of their story and a lot of things like that are very centered around their relationship and them dealing with each other and Chrome being an asshole. But you know, so stuff like that. And their story is very important to the main story in a sense. I mean, the characters like will go to Teruvia and stuff like that, and they actually are very important. And so yeah, that's kind of their thing with their story. They're very Chrome and Virus are very fun, quirky characters just because they're like Virus is so chill and like normal and calm and things like that, and Chrome is so over the top and like that kind of character that you might be able to appreciate as a character, but if you knew him in real life you would want to slap him 18 times because he's just that annoying. And then Chrome kind of balances that out. So they're two very fun characters, and I'm glad I could finally do him. And as for the portrait itself, though, I should throw this in at the end real quick. I do like how the portrait came out. I think some of the colors could have been a little bit better, but if you can't tell, I did something with like the framing with the little gradient in the background and stuff like that. I did something different, and I don't know if I'll go back and I'll edit the other ones, but I do rather like how it looks in this one. As opposed to how I've done it before, and I don't know if I'm gonna like keep doing that or if it'll vary or whatever, but yeah, so I did something a bit different there. So yeah, anyway, I've rambled on for far too long. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little rendition of Lunaverse, of getting to know a little bit more about Teruvia and the androids, and the next one will make a very hard left from Teruvia and futuristic androids and things like that to a demigod cat girl. A seductive demigod cat girl, mind you. So yeah, if you know who that is, you know who I'm doing next, and if not, well, prepare to be surprised, I guess. Anyway, this has gone on way too long, I'm sorry. These just get longer and longer, every single one I do. I just cannot stop talking. This is what I get for making a complicated story, but yeah. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Leave a like if you enjoyed, leave a comment with your thoughts, stuff like that. So yeah, I am the Zodiac Lord, and I will be seeing you in the next video, whatever it may be. Zodiac out.